So cloud computing. So this is the demo class. Today we are going to start. My name is Srinivas. I am having 20 years of experience of total IT, like Solaris administration, IBM AX, HP Unix, Linux server administration, Windows server administrations, CCNA, and storage technologies like SAN and NAS, virtualization, VMware server administration. Now the latest technology is cloud computing. So before going to learn cloud computing, first of all, you have to understand what is physical environment, what is physical infrastructure, physical network, physical storage. First, we have to understand that. Then we can back to the cloud computing. So first, we need to discuss about what are the operating systems are available. So we can go for operating systems. So we have two types of operating systems are there, Windows and Linux. So Windows, everybody knows it is a graphical user interface. So we are using Windows OS only in our laptops. In Windows, we have two types of operating systems are there, client OS and server OS. So what is server, what is client? So server provide resources to clients. Clients access the resources from server. So every day we are downloading the songs or movies or documents or watching the movies, whatever it may be, you are accessing from servers. Servers provide resources to clients. Clients access the resources from servers. So these servers we are going to launch from the cloud environment. Like Windows servers we are going to launch, Linux servers also we are going to launch. That is the reason first you have to understand about the server operating systems. Windows versions are 2019, 16, 12. These are the versions. In 1997, they introduced the new version, the first Windows Server NT 4.0. So these are the years: 2000, 2000 year, 2000 version, 2003, 8, 12, 16, 19. Like Windows, we have another operating system, Unix. So Unix or Linux, everybody will confuse. Linux is a flavor of Unix, but Linux is a open source. Open source means anybody they can download the source kernel from internet. You can develop your own operating system. I can develop my own operating system. Like that in Linux, we have a number of flavors are there. Red Hat Linux, Oracle Enterprise Linux, Ubuntu Linux, CentOS, Fedora Linux, SUSE Linux, Debian Linux, Kali Linux. So these Windows servers, these Linux servers, we are going to launch from cloud. That is also I will explain. So coming to the cloud now. Before going to cloud, physical environment I will explain. Physical data center, on-premises data center. So like technical words we are going to use. So why cloud computing? Before going to understand the cloud computing, we have to understand before cloud computing how the data center's existence is there. For example, I want to develop any software. If I want to develop any web servers, for example, I have a project is there. I got a project. I want to run the project. Maybe 1 year or 2 years, I have the time is there to develop that project. So in that scenarios, what I have to do, I need a group of servers. I have to buy and I have to manage the network. I have to manage and monitoring. So everything I have to take care about that. So for this, what we required, you need networking people, either CCNA, CCNP who completed. You need storage people to manage the storage, SAN and NAS administrators. You have to buy the servers. Servers means not Linux server, not Windows server. Servers means hardware, like Dell hardware, HP hardware, IBM hardware. Different hardwares are there, like Lenovo laptop, HP laptop, Samsung laptop. Like that, we have hardware. We have to buy the hardware. Top of the hardware, we are going to install the VMware vSphere hypervisor or Citrix Xen server. Citrix Xen, XEN. So these are the virtualization operating systems. Top of that, multiple operating systems we can install, like Windows and Linux. Top of that, you have to install the middleware applications and runtime programming, Java, C, C++, Node.js, .NET, Python, Perl, PHP, Ruby. Different types of languages are there, programming languages. Top of that, we are going to run the database, then application will be developed. So this is, we have to manage, you have to spend the money, you have to pay the money, each and every people, you have to start the business. This is called on-premises servers. Everything our organization has to be managed. They have to spend the money. What are the disadvantages? For this, you have to invest a lot of money. It is going to be expensive. For example, you bought a laptop. I bought a laptop. 30,000 rupees I spent for buying my laptop. Now go to task manager. See, CPU utilization. Resources are nothing but CPU, memory, disk, network. These are the resources. CPU utilization 23% is running. Memory utilization 29%. Disk utilization 1%. Network utilization now at the point of time, no network utilization. So I spent 30,000 rupees. That much of worth I am not using. That system is not using. Below 30% it is using CPU resources and memory resources. Means 70% of the money or 60% of the money is going to be waste. Wasting the resources is nothing but wasting the money. See, my processor is 2.3 gigahertz processor, 8 GB RAM. Out of 8 GB RAM, 30% only utilizing. Remaining, wasting the resources. Wasting the resources is nothing but wasting the money. Like in real-time environment, if I buy 50 servers, so the 50 servers are not 100% is going to be utilized. Maximum 50% only going to be utilized. But I spent to 25 lakhs. So half of the money is going to be waste. That is the disadvantage in on-premises servers. So you cannot share your RAM to my system. You cannot share your CPU memory to my system. We can share files, that's all. So physical resources we cannot share. Troubleshooting problems. So troubleshootings can impact our business goals. Everything, any problem will come into the servers. We have to make it troubleshoot. The server is going to be down. That is also a problem. And scale up and scale down is also a problem in this environment. So scale up and scale down means, for example, this is my laptop configuration. I have one processor, 2.0 gigahertz processor is there, 8 GB RAM is there. Immediately, I want to increase my RAM capacity from 8 GB to 16 GB. Immediately. So immediately not possible. So I have to check the money. If I am having that much of money is not there, if money is arranged, I have to go to the market. I have to buy the RAM. I have to go to the technical person. So I have to improve the RAM. So it will take time, not immediately. But in cloud environment, immediately you can scale up and scale down your resources, storage, whatever it may be. So if you want to require, you can scale up. If you don't want to require, you can scale down. That is immediately we can do in cloud. And the amount of data, how much is storing now and how much in future purpose, we cannot analyze. So if your data is going to be grow, so depending upon that, you can expand your storage limit. Not possible immediately in a physical environment. But in cloud environment, automatically you can increase your capacity of data how much you are going to consume, how much you are going to use. So these are the disadvantages. So another example is, if you have 5 servers, while the traffic is high, they can utilize the complete resources. Remember, resources are nothing but CPU and memory. But when the traffic is low, some resources are going to be idle, but we have to pay same cost because already we paid money. If they are utilizing, not utilizing the complete resources, we have to manage them. For example, you have a flipkart.com site is there. Every Wednesday, Flipkart, they will provide the discount offers. On that particular day, heavy traffic will come onto the website. One server is not having that much of capacity to require. So they can buy 4 or 5 servers. On that particular day, all 5 servers are busy because of heavy load is there. Except Wednesday, remaining days, 1 or 2 servers are going to be busy. Remaining systems are going to be idle. So that is also waste of the money. For the particular one day, you have to invest the money. So these are the disadvantages of on-premises data centers. That is the reason now the organizations, they are entering into the cloud. So nowadays we are getting everything online, online food offering, online shoppings, online reservations and documentation also online. This is called digital data. When you need to store huge data, you need more space. Cost plus monitoring plus maintenance, everything managed by the cloud. Just you have to pay the money. How much resources utilized. Like everybody we know, we have earlier days internet centers are there. So when you want to access internet, you can go to the internet center. You can take 1 hour or 2 hours time to access internet, sending mails, checking the mails, or any printouts. If you want to get, you can go to the internet center. For using the internet for 1 hour or 2 hours, you have to pay 10 rupees or 20 rupees or 30 rupees. That premises is not us. Internet connection is not us. Furniture is not us. System is not us. But by utilizing that resources, you are paying the money. Like in cloud also, can launch your servers, what you require. So now, what is cloud computing? Accessing the resources. Just now I explained, resources is nothing but CPU, memory, storage. These are the resources. Network. So what is cloud computing? Accessing the resources like compute resources, storage, network, media services, and databases from internet is called cloud computing. Best example is Gmail account. Your Gmail account is not located in your computer. My Gmail account is not located in my computer. Where is your Gmail account also? You don't know. Where is my Gmail account? I don't know. But we are able to access every day our Gmail account. How it is possible? Through internet, by using your credentials, by using my credentials, we are logging into our Gmail accounts. We are sending mails, we are checking mails. But that Gmail account is located on remote server, which are managed by Google. So same cloud computing also, you are launching servers on remote location through internet is called cloud computing. You can process your data or applications from remote servers, access your resources via internet. Your local data can move to cloud because in cloud you have unlimited space is there. So everybody knows Google Drive. So whatever the photos, videos, important data is there in our my local laptop, I can upload to my Google Drive. So wherever I am, I can log into my Google Drive. I can download my important data, what I require. Like we can have Aadhaar cards, PAN cards. If you go anywhere, if you forget your PAN card or Aadhaar card, so immediately you can log into your Google Drive, you can take it one printout. Like that, cloud also, you can launch your servers, databases through internet. It's called cloud computing. Benefits of cloud computing: if you want any IT resource, you can get immediately. What you require, you can get in minutes, not hours or days. No need to buy any hardware and software. So for this, I will show you one example. What they told, if you want to any IT resource, you can get immediately within minutes. No need to buy hardware and software. Now, I want to launch Linux server immediately. I need Linux server immediately. I want to practice Linux commands. I don't know the hardware. See, I don't have the hardware. I don't have the Linux software also. I don't know the installation also. But I know the commands. I want to launch my Linux server immediately. Now we are going to see practically. Immediately, within 5 minutes. So I am logging to my AWS Management Console. You are also going to create this account to practice AWS Cloud Computing. Log into your authorization account. Within 5 minutes, I want to launch my Linux server. I want to log into my Linux server. I am not buying any hardware. I am not buying any software. So I logged into my AWS Management Console account. Already explained you, we have Windows servers, we have Linux servers. We are going to launch from the cloud. So launch instance. See Amazon Linux, Mac OS, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Ubuntu servers. So Windows servers. So in our classes, I will explain in depth. Whatever. Just now I am going to show you the example only. I am launching the Linux server. Free tier eligible. Configure instant details. Add storage. Add tags. Configure security group. Review and launch. Launch instance. Create a new key pair. So this is in depth we are going to discuss. What is key pairs? What is PEM file? What is PPK file? So my server is ready. So within 2 minutes we launched. So my Linux server is ready. Here we have a public IP is there. Copy this public IP. Now go to your Windows system. We have to generate the key. So this is the information of your Linux operating system details. So it is running state. You should be running state. Then only we can log in. Select the key. Okay. Save the key. This is in depth we are going to discuss in our classes. Just for example purpose, I am showing you. Now log into your Linux server. Open Putty software from Windows. Copy your public IP address, which is assigned by AWS. Select the key which you configured. See, I am logged into my Linux operating system. So I'm increasing the font size. See here, EC2-user, the default username to log into Linux server, sudo space su, login as administrator. So you can do anything. So you can create the files, you can create the users. So everything you can do. See, immediately I launched Linux servers. Like that, you can launch Windows servers. So with the software ready-made, Linux with Ansible, Linux with Docker, Linux with MySQL Server, Linux with Apache, like that, Windows with Active Directory Domain Services, Windows with MySQL Server, Windows with .NET. Whatever you want to require, you can launch immediately, ready-made. How much resources you utilize it, that much of money only how to pay. So depending upon your requirements, you can scale and scale down. So I launched Linux server instance. By default, storage is 8 GB. I can allocate 500 GB space immediately. Whatever I want to require, I can scale up, I can scale down. So you can access the data from anywhere. So wherever you are, you can log into your AWS management console like Gmail account. You can launch your servers, you can work with your servers. Your data is stored in secure location. In cloud computing, how much resources you use, that much money only have to pay. Take the services for rent as much as utilize. You can take compute services and storage services and networking services for rent. So how much utilized, that much only have to pay. So what are the service models are providing cloud? IaaS, infrastructure as a service. PaaS, platform as a service. SaaS, software as a service. IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. What is infrastructure as a service? So you created one application, but you have to only manage. But you need infrastructure. So you have to contact cloud people. They will provide the infrastructure for you. Networking, storage, hardware, they will provide. So you can choose operating system, whether Linux or Windows, whatever it may be, you can deploy your application. Platform as a service. So in this model, cloud people provide platform as a service. You developed one code, you want to deploy it, but you don't want to use your own platform means Linux or Windows servers. Then you can get the platform from the cloud. They will provide. Platform also they will provide. You can just deploy your application. Software as a service. Cloud provide leases applications or softwares which are owned by them as your requirements. For example, I started one business like Spencer's. We have Big Bazaar, Spencer's. This type of businesses are there. So, but I don't want to manage my servers, but I need some software to give the bills to the customers. I have to contact the cloud people. This is the my type of business. So I need some software for requirement of my business. So they will develop everything. They will manage. Monthly, we can pay the bill. That is software as a service. Best example for software as a service is Gmail. Say every day we are sending mails, receiving mails through Gmail account. We are using the resources when we required, but you are not going to think about how the mail is coming to my mail account, how I send a mail to others, how it is going to their account. You are not bothered about that one. So just we are sending, receiving mails, but how it is going, how it will work background, nobody will think. So everything will managed by Google. What are the security measures? What are, see, nowadays you can see Gmail account. If you change your device, it will send a code. Is this you to log into your account? This is a unwanted device you are logging. So they will send a code to your mobile. Then you can give the code. Then only that much of security is there. So like Gmail account, cloud also you can manage your servers. You can manage your servers. This is the service model just now explained you. On premises means every service we have to manage, we have to invest. Infrastructure as a service. So infrastructure they will manage up to virtualization. OS, middleware, runtime, database applications we have to manage. Platform as a service up to runtime they will manage. Database and application optimizations we have to manage. Software as a service, everything they have to manage, we have to pay the money. This is service models. Now, types of clouds, cloud models. Public cloud. A public cloud is a type of computing in which a service provider makes resources available to the public via the internet. Some public cloud providers offers resources for free, while clients pay for other resources by subscription or pay per usage model. See, you are using Gmail account, I am using Gmail account, crores of persons they are using Gmail account. That is public cloud. Anybody can access. But that is also some limit is there. What is that limit? Go to your Gmail account, go to your Google Drive, Google Drive. See, public cloud also somewhat only they are going to give you free of cost. See, storage 15 GB is the free of cost. So everybody, whenever we create Gmail account, 15 GB is free of cost. So if you want to get more space, buy storage. You have to pay the money. See, 15 GB is free. So if you want to get more space, 100 GB. So every month you have to pay 130 rupees. If you want to require 200 GB, every month you have to pay 210 rupees. So this is public cloud only, but up to some resources only free of cost. So remaining, if you want to get, you have to pay the money. So that is public cloud. So some public cloud providers offers resources for free, while clients pay for other resources as per pay per usage model. Private cloud. The private cloud is defined as computing services offered either over the internet also you can manage your private cloud, or on premises already is there, private internal network, and only to select users instead of the general public. So private cloud requires the same staffing, management also they are going to do, and maintenance and expenses they have to pay. For example, we have Infosys.com site is there. For example, I'm telling you, Infosys.com. I am accessing Infosys web. This is public. Anybody can access. But internally, Infosys employees are there. They are working on internal servers, confidential servers, database servers, web servers, internal servers, external servers. External servers you can access, I can access. So I can go to the Infosys site. I can check careers. What is the Infosys Knowledge Institute? Everybody can check this one. So, but internal servers you cannot check, I cannot check, because they have their own employees, they have their own security, they have their own private servers. So only Infosys employees can have the credentials to log into the servers to work on that servers. That is called private cloud. But Infosys company, they are using public servers and they are using private servers. These private and public servers should be communicate internally. Private servers, public servers should be communicate. So in that scenarios, we can go for the hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud is a solution that combines a private cloud with one or more public cloud services with proprietary software. They have to develop their own softwares, enabling communication between each distinct service. Hybrid cloud services are powerful because they give businesses greater control over the private data. So communication between the public and private cloud. So hybrid cloud like works like a bridge. So public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. What is hybrid cloud? Communication between the public and private cloud. So this is cloud computing deployment model, public, private, hybrid, service models, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Now, who is providing cloud? Now you can think about who is providing cloud computing services. Now come into the picture. AWS. Amazon Web Services 2006 it is established. It is very popular and experienced in cloud. So many companies they are using these services. AWS's server capacity is about 6 times larger than the next 12 competitors. That much of huge hardware requirements are there. Server capacities are there. For example, if you have 8 GB RAM, I have 48 GB RAM. If you have two CPUs, CPU means processor, I have 16 CPUs. That much of server capacity I am having. I am means not I am AWS. So AWS servers capacity is about 6 times larger than the next 12 competitors. Netflix, world's largest media company, all their infrastructure, platform, everything managed by cloud. Everybody knows Netflix. And Expedia, the world's most popular traveling booking company, their all servers also deploy on the AWS cloud. The second place,
It's
yeah, tell
it's
me.
Expedia. There is no L in that.
Sorry,
It is EXPEDIA, not Expedia.
Expedia.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, spelling mistake. Next to Microsoft Azure. So 2020 they introduced. It is occupied the next place for AWS. It is also a fast growing cloud environment. Maybe coming 2 to 3 years, what depending upon how many services they are going to include, depending upon that the most fast growing cloud is Microsoft Azure. Next to GCP, Google Cloud Platform, followed by other cloud computing, DigitalOcean, IBM Cloud, Terramark. These are also available. This is overall cloud computing demo class. So if you have any doubts, please ask me up to here. Anybody having any doubts?
Hello, sir. I'm Sai.
Sai, tell me, sir.
Yeah, do we need Linux knowledge to learn AWS?
To learn AWS Linux knowledge is not required, but if you have the gap, there is a gap after 3 years, 4 years gap is there, it is better to learn Linux administration.
Okay. No, I don't have any gap.
You can directly go to the AWS. So if you have the 3 plus
Okay.
4 plus, there is a gap is there, then we can fill up the gap with the Linux administration. Now I am working with AWS project. We can put like this. Otherwise, directly we can put the AWS. There is no need to require to learn Linux administration for AWS. Directly we can start.
Oh, okay, Srinivas.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me, Ramesh.
Yeah, I know this is Ramesh. Actually, I am a Java developer. I have six
Okay.
years experience. Can you guide me which are the modules are useful for the Java developers to improve their resume and career?
See,
Do you have any idea about that one?
yeah. See, if you are a developer,
Hmm.
if you are a fresher,
Yeah.
whatever it may be, first we have to learn the course AWS Solutions Architect Associate. What we are going to discuss
Okay.
from
Okay.
tomorrow onwards. You
Okay.
should be having the strong knowledge on Solutions Architect Associate.
Hmm.
Then you can do anything. So hands-on experience using compute networking, storage, and databases.
Okay.
Hands-on experience with AWS deployment and management services, technical requirements, AWS-based applications. So technical requirement for identity and services of AWS, best
Hmm.
practices building secure and reliable applications, architectural principles, global infrastructure, network technologies, everything you have to know. Then
Hmm.
AWS developer track is there, but nobody is teaching. You can inquire. But
Okay.
what are the recommended knowledge for developer track? In-depth knowledge of at least one high-level programming language. If you want to go for developing, course.
Okay.
And also understanding of core AWS services uses and basic AWS architecture best practice means, so if you are a developer also, you must have the knowledge on these things first. Then you yourself, you can work on these things because already you can have hands-on experience on solutions architect. You can understand how to manage the services. Then if you are a Java developer or Node.js or PHP, Perl, Python, any programming language, you have the in-depth knowledge, you can easily work on the cloud environment. So you can put in the resume. So AWS Solutions Architect course, that is enough for you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there any other questions? Nitin, Rana, De, Satish.
Yeah, I see like AWS also it allows a free account by which you can log in.
Srinivas,
Yeah, free
I'm
account,
Sai.
1 year free account. Sai, tell me, Sai.
Hello.
Sai, tell me.
Do we have a screen sharing in this Go training tool? Do we have screen sharing tool in this Go training tool?
Screen sharing, no?
Yeah.
My screen is not showing. My screen is coming, no?
Yes,
No,
right.
your screen is sharing. Can I also be able to share my screen in this Go training tool?
Go to training not possible. From any desk you can share. Whenever you are having any problem, you can share any desk.
Hello.
We will whatever. If you have any problem, I can take care about that. Any desk, you can download it.
Any desk. Okay. Okay.
Any desk.
Yeah.
That is simple. Just within 1 minute it will download. Then you can share your screen also.
Okay. Okay, Srinivas.
Satish, tell me, Satish.
Yeah, actually, I am a Java developer. I am a Java solution architect. Actually, I'm looking for a cloud architect role.
Okay.
So I have an opportunity to work in Google Cloud. Okay,
Okay.
I mean it's like I'm about to work as a from the cloud front. Okay,
Okay.
so I know like Google Cloud, it's having a free account with a $300 credit and all. So
Okay.
in AWS, it's with it, it's free for 90 days. Okay. So similarly, AWS, yeah,
AWS 1 year free tier account, 1 year.
okay. And but does it allow the resources as well, like E2
See, all
account?
the solutions architect, whatever the course we are going to do, everything we can do the practical without paying any single rupee. But some chargeable services are there. I will explain that, sir. This is chargeable. Chargeable means by 1 hour they will charge. Within 1 hour we can practice, we can delete that.
Mhm. Okay.
So within 1 hour, for 1 hour they will charge. See, for example, previously you can have the mobiles every 5 minutes, they will charge. So 1 minute, after 1 minute, the 1 minute is completed. So next minute they will charge 1 rupee or 2 rupees. Like AWS, 1 hour, every hour, hourly billing, not minute billings. So within 1 hour we can do practical, we can terminate them, no problem. See, this is my AWS account. Just now I showed you, closed. I will show you AWS management console account. Every day I am showing the practical of everything. See, easy to just now I launched instance. So every month 750 hours you can utilize any instance of Windows Server or Linux Server, that is free of cost up to 1 year. So running instances. So after showing my practical scenarios, what I have to do, I will terminate it. So tomorrow, just I have to select this one. It is running instance, actions, instance state, terminate. Tomorrow again I can log in. I can launch. Now here, so here you can see my billing dashboard. You can check your billing.
Mhm.
My billing dashboard. Go to your billing dashboard. How much bill they charged, I can check here. So 74 paisa. 74 paisa for this month. So for this S3 storage, $0.01 they charged. That is only the chargeable. See here, top free tier services by usage. 1 GB of Amazon Elastic Block Storage snapshot is free. 2000 download request free of cost. 20,000 2,000 upload requests free of cost. 20,000 download requests free of cost. 1,000 email notifications for Amazon simple notification service free of cost. 750 hours per month of Amazon EC2 Linux T2.micro or T3.micro. Tomorrow I will explain what is this T2, T3, C4, M4 different hardware is there. That is free of cost. So you can also check billing details every month. This is June. May month, how much bill? May month 3 rupees they charged. So like that you can check the bills. So up to 10,000 rupees they are not going to be do notifications. When the 10,000 is completed, they will send a notification to you. You have to pay 10,000 rupees. But if you pay or not pay, they are not going to deduct from our accounts. So they will suspend our account. Again, we have to create a new account. They are not going to charge a single rupee from our account without prior information. Okay. And also you can check the global infrastructure of AWS worldwide. So you can go to the Google AWS global infrastructure. See how many regions are there, how many availability zones. Availability zones are nothing but data centers. See 25 launched regions are there, 80 data centers are there worldwide. So these are AWS Go Cloud US West 2011 they launched 3 data centers are there. Oregon 4 availability zones are there. Canada Central 3 availability zones. Ohio 3 availability zones. Europe Stockholm 3 availability zones. London 3 data centers. Ireland 3 data centers. Now coming to the Asia Pacific, we have only one region, Mumbai, launched in 2016. 3 availability zones are there. Now orange color are coming soon. Hyderabad coming soon. They are going to launch a big data centers in Hyderabad. Before December, they are going to be launched. Because of COVID effect, it's taken late. So meanwhile, it has to be launched. So one is High-Tech City, one is Fab City, one is in nearly Rangareddy district. They are launching with 20,000 crores of rupees they invested. They are launching 3 availability zones in Hyderabad data center, Hyderabad region also. Maybe before December, the data centers has to be start. So orange color are coming soon. UAE coming soon, Spain coming soon, Jakarta coming soon, Melbourne coming soon. Okay.
And as I am more into the development side, so I'm interested in the services offered, like the I have worked on the Google's. I have worked on the Spring application side, and we
Okay.
have developed applications using Spring Cloud. Okay, like
Okay.
Spring Cloud Data Flow Server. In AWS, I heard similar to that. There is something called Lambda, AWS
Lambda is,
Lambda.
yes,
Yeah,
Lambda is there.
yeah. Similar services also we will be covering.
Yeah, see, once we learn any one of the cloud, you can easily work on other clouds also. Only technical words will change. Remaining everything is same. Technically, the name will change. Launch the VM, we can call as a Microsoft Azure and GCP. Launch the instance, we are calling as a here. Configure your own virtual private cloud, VPC. In Azure, we are calling as VNet, virtual network. Same. So work is same, technical words are different. If you learn any one of the cloud, you can easily work on any other clouds also. Just you have to know the technical words, the practical scenarios. That's all.
Okay.
Sir, in all cloud computing companies, which is the best, sir? AWS or any other, sir? Better than
AWS,
AWS.
AWS only. Nowadays, up to now, AWS is the leader of the cloud.
Yeah, I think that also depends on the offering, service offering also. Like AWS is the leading one, and Google Cloud people prefer if it is related to machine learning and data
Yeah,
analytics.
depending upon the company. So for example, Microsoft related products companies are there, they can go for the Azure, who are using more servers on Windows servers. So that is depending. depending upon the requirement of organizations, they can go for their selected clouds. But still the 75% market is occupied by AWS only. But fast growing cloud computing, Azure and GCP is coming. They have to add so many services. So AWS cloud, more than 150 services are there up to now. So tomorrow, what I am going to discuss, what we are going to discuss in cloud environment, the training contents I will explain. Amazon, what is EC2 instances, what is elastic block storage, what is elastic IP address, what is identity and access management, what is Amazon S3 storage, what is Amazon Glacier, what is VPC, public subnets, private subnets, internet gateways, routing tables, what is auto scaling groups, what is elastic load balancers, CloudWatch, simple notification services, Route 53, CloudFront, Elastic Beanstalk, Simple Queue Service, Cloud Formations, relational databases services, DynamoDB. So what we are going to discuss, the brief introduction. Tomorrow I will give you about each and every topic which we are going to discuss in the cloud. Okay. Is there any doubts? I am going to close the session. I have another class is there, weekend batch.
So CCN is required for this AWS or cloud computing.
CCNA?
Is CCN is mandatory for this course, sir,
No,
or else?
nothing is mandatory. No. Directly we can learn cloud. There is no prerequisites. క్లౌడ్ కి ఏం అవసరం లేదు, మనం ఏదైనా నేర్చుకోవచ్చు, డైరెక్ట్ గా నేర్చుకోవచ్చు క్లౌడ్, వేరేదేం అవసరం ఉండదు.
Okay, sir. Okay. But experience we can show this cloud only, sir.
Experience you can put on cloud. See, if you have more gap, you can put the Linux administration if you want to get more package.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me, Ramesh.
సార్ ఇది యాక్చువల్ ఇప్పుడు ఈ కోర్స్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత నేను ఒక 1 year క్లెయిమ్ చేసుకోవచ్చా క్లౌడ్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ లాగా?
యా 1 year or 2 years ఎంత గ్యాప్ ఉంటే అంత పెట్టుకోవచ్చు మనం.
గ్యాప్ ఏం లేదు, జనరల్ గా నేను క్లెయిమ్ చేసుకున్నాను యాజ్ ఎ డెవలపర్ ప్లస్ సొల్యూషన్ ఆర్కిటెక్ట్ లాగా.
పెట్టుకోవచ్చు 1 year. ఆ రెజ్యూమ్స్ కూడా నేను పంపిస్తాను, ఎలా పెట్టాలి ఏంటని. Okay, tomorrow we will continue the class. Okay.
And class duration and fee structure, it will be shared tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow by evening or by night they will send a feedback mail to you. So what is, how to contact, how to pay the money, everything. So this is total 5 weekends. So first weekend you can leave it. First weekend, like this demo classes only you will complete. So apart from this, remaining 5 weeks we are going to complete the course on 1.5 hour daily class. So I will send all the pre-recorded videos, all AWS videos, previous class videos I will send, and also complete step-by-step notes, configuration notes I will send, and whatever we are going to explain PPTs, I will send that PPTs, real-time entry point of questions and answers, and roles and responsibilities, everything. So whatever the material is there, everything I will share to you.
Okay.
And every day recording classes they will send, DurgaSoft people they will send. Before going to that, all my pre-recorded videos I will send to you, so you can go through the videos and you can go through the configuration notes.
Okay.
Sir, duration is 3 hours in week, right, sir?
5 weekends.
No, sir. Per 2 days it's 3 hours, 1.5 hour, 1.5 hours. Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Tomorrow we'll meet.
Thank you.
Okay.